today we're going to paint a party hat. And I know it seems simple and it seems not silly, but maybe insignificant. But I chose this because in drawing, sometimes we need to learn how to draw a cone. And the party hat is the perfect cone. And this is the perfect week for party hat because it is my daughter's birthday on Friday, and we're celebrating her. We're celebrating her life. As you know, she has brain cancer. And so everything we do is raising money for brain cancer research. In any case, here we go. So here's just a few hats to look at to inspire you. I'm going to show a couple pictures. Let's see, here we go. I'm gonna pick any hat you want. This is just a simple cone shape and a nice little bobble on top. The one we're gonna paint is a blue one like this with stripes around it. Here is another one in green. You can choose your colors. That's the fun part, is you get to choose your own colors. What color is your party hat? This is the cone shape I was talking about. We're going to paint it face on, but obviously this is, and maybe it's not obvious, but this is looking up under. And then here's one that shows all the angles, the 4 different angles. I think it helps to have some reference points. There we go. So looking under, looking from the top down, and this is looking straight at it, or, you know, a little bit above, and this is looking straight at it. So we're going to paint this one down here. The colors I chose were Rose Madder. And if you don't have a Rose Madder, you can use any pink that you want. You can use your favorite pink. Alizarin Crimson is a good one. Laura and I like Opera Rose. And then for the blue, I have a really pretty teal blue, but you can do green. You can do any color that you think would look good with blue. You can do yellow. And the last color I thought would be fun would be a little lilac, just for some highlights. So I like to start with I've got my dirty water, then I go to clean water when I change to a new color. I have this little blotting dish, save your yogurts, recycle. Put the paper towel in there, and then I would love it if you had a paper towel on hand. All right, so let me take a minute for you to get your supplies, and let's see if I can open this up again, but without sound. So I would love to see you. I'd love to see who's here, and it just makes me just feel so good to know that we're sharing art and we're creating together. And I see 2 people. So, okay, volume's off. So that's good. But, oh, Mary Lou, you did make it. Great. I appreciated you contacting me ahead of time and letting me know you might not make it. I hope you enjoy this party hat painting. Simple shape. I tried to pick simple. Sometimes we do harder stuff and simple stuff. So just a simple triangle. I like to put the dots down just to get it in perspective. I think I was starting to say you could make a birthday card for somebody. You can make a really cute birthday card. You could put a bunch of different hats on it. You can put a few hats on it. The dots don't have to be that hard in your pencil line. I'm just putting the dots in there because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. But on your own, I'm just drawing a diagonal stripe. It's going to be a quickie. Simple. Just have fun with it. That's a little off. It's a watercolor. It doesn't really matter. But let's say you do that and you look at it and you're not happy with it. Just go ahead and take your eraser, just lightly erase it. I have to be careful because I've got my paints here. So I'm going to take my paper towel and just push it off. I won't use my hand because your hand will smudge the pencil, and then you'll be sorry because that pencil will go across your painting. Okay, there we go. Just fun, simple. We're going to start with the little wet on wet. So the little bobbles on top. I'm just going to see I'm putting wet down like a little ball. round water spot. You can see it on on my watercolor paper. You can see it. So I'm going to take a little bit of that pink and just spot it in there. I want it to look loose and airy. And then for the rim here, I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to get that wet. And you can curve it a little depending on the angle. You can use any one of these angles. And I'd love it if you would share your painting here. Mary Lou, I see you're with me. When I'm looking at this, the writing is right over the picture. Is it like that for you? I'm wondering if I should turn off or is it just because my screen is so small? Let's see if I can find it again. So I don't want to be where you can't see what we're painting. Is it like right in the way? I love having closed caption on there. I think it's, in this day and age, it's awesome. So I'd like to keep it on there, but I really don't want it to distract. So I guess I can move my painting up a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Your feedback would be greatly appreciated. Anybody who's doing this. Okay, that helps a little bit. I like the fuzzy, you know, when you can buy those fuzzy fluff things, the feathery things. I like that. So I'm going to paint this to be fuzzy. And I really hope you all have fun and kind of decide your design. So again, the wet on wet, I'm going to take the pink, the rose madder, and drop it in because I do want it fuzzy. It's going to come out over the edge. And of course, if you're doing it for a little boy, hello, yes, make it boy colors, or it can be neutral colors. And I'm only saying that, I'm not picking specifically for any special reason. I did put blue nail polish on, and I'm using blue nail polish because Chrissy is having a baby. Our daughter with brain cancer is having a baby, and we are so excited. We haven't been happy in a long time. So I put blue nail polish to celebrate. We know it's a boy, but she's a girl, so I'm painting a pink hat today. Yeah, thumbs up if you're with me, if you know this story. If you don't know the story, email me, make a comment. I look at these later, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Here we go. So letting that settle, as you know, I kind of let it soak into the paper. You can move your book around a little bit and see how that color moves, and it will settle where you would like it to settle. That's kind of fun. You get some extra movement in there. So let's start with our blue stripe. I'm going to use the teal for the top here. I'm doing wet on dry. So the wet means my brush. The first word is your brush, and the second word is the paper. So wet on dry, and you have your blotting towel. So we're going to blot just the center of that. I need to make it a little more directional. There we go. Just the center. We'll come back to it if it stands out. But since I still have that blue on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and do the next row. You can put as much as you want. It's still wet on dry. I get a little more control when it's wet on dry. The brush size I'm using is a 7 or an 8. My favorite brush size is a 6, but I grabbed this one today. It doesn't matter. If I want a finer line, I just put my brush straight up and down. Okay, stay in your little hat. But if you make a mistake like I did, don't worry about it. You can go outside and make your hat a little bigger on the next rung, on the next stripe. And then I'm going to go ahead and get that wet because, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and pick up that part because I want it to be highlighted this side of the hat, because my light source is coming from here. Put your arrow in your test paper if you want to know where your light source is coming. Now, I'm glad this pink semi-dried, because now I'm going to add a little bit of blue there for that blue stripe. If it bleeds in, I'll pick it up. I'm not worried about it. It's okay. Sometimes those little bleed marks are kind of nice. The way you pick it up is take your corner of your paper towel and just dab it. Dab, dab, dab. We can go back in and put more pink in there. All right. And then this is so fast and so quick that I hope you're not disappointed. But here we go. I'm going to take that rose madder and I'm going to do the same thing. Rose madder. And I'm going to go ahead and put that stripe in. I'll go ahead and put the other stripe in since it's on my brush. And I got a good amount and it's wet on dry. So my brush is wet and the paper is dry. And you wonder, look, what's happened? The other color is soaking in. Don't worry, we're going to go back. Take your paper towel. I do like you to grab a new piece. So this is has the blue in it. So I'm going to grab a different part of my paper towel, like this part that's just clean. And I'm going to tap it in the red in that same form, that same line as the blue. So it looks like it's dimensional. All right. So now here comes the lilac. And I want to add some oomph to the pink part of the fluff. Since we did it first, it kind of blended in. So there we go. There we go. And I don't know if you remember when we did ribbons, if you want to put a ribbon on here, add a little ribbon. Okay, I'm just looking. Little curly cues. These are birthday cards. You can, if you have beautiful handwriting, you can write happy birthday. The way I like to do ribbons, if I'm drawing a straight with my brush, smush, straight, lift again. This is a stroke you can use. Practice that on the side. Let's see what else. What am I missing? Mary Lou, can you think of something we should do? Something I need to know about? I do see a little bleeding here. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the brush. I dipped it into the clean water. Tap, tap, tap on the tap, tap, tap on the paper towel. And then I'm just going to slice back and forth or swipe back and forth really lightly. So I can pick up that, and then I just made, so what happens is when it's still wet, it'll follow where you're putting new wetness in. So even though I'm trying to dry it up a little bit, it followed it. So that's fine. If you want to add detail, you can have so much fun with this. Maybe I'll put a little darker color on this side. If you like this watercolor and it looks appealing to you and you want to know more about it, there is a call button or a calendar button, my calendar. Book a call with me and let's talk. Let's talk about your watercolor journey. You can be advanced, you can be beginner. I definitely speak to the beginners. But you know, I was talking with a friend of mine who's an artist, a watercolorist, and she said it never hurts to go through the foundations. You have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. You can learn by experimenting. But if you want to have the language, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Okay, I'm wiping that up a little bit. And I just added a little color. If that looks too stripy, you can soften the edge. So I take a clean brush, tap it off a little bit on the paper towel, and then just tap on the side and let it bleed out a little bit. This is a little bit of control that you can have with your watercolor. I would say play with it and don't have to put too much water. But if you do put too much and you're not happy with it, it's okay. You could take your paper towel and lay it flat over the whole piece. If I did, I would lay it flat over the whole piece and I would just press with my hand, wipe it dry, and the whole painting would be dry and you could start over. In fact, I see I have enough time. Maybe I should do that. Let's see, did anybody have any comments, or give me a thumbs up if you're here. Even if you're not watching in live with us, please make some comments for me. Let me know. I'll let you see what happens if you make a mistake. This is how you're gonna learn. Learn by your mistakes. There we go. Oh, I got it too wet. I didn't like it. was too wet. I'm going to start over. Remember, watercolors, so I'm just pressing it down on my paper towel. Watercolor does stain the paper, so you won't get it back down to the paper. Wow, look how cute that is. I love the blue and pink. So what I did was really just dry it off a little bit. Now it's going to give me another opportunity to paint it again. So now I can use a little more paint and a little less water because the paper is already wet, and just tap, tap, tap to get some deeper definition. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so cute. What a happy accident. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I believe in Bob Ross. I met Steve Ross last summer. He's just as talented as his father was. And this happy accident something is nothing. I mean, we all tease and joke about it because it was so cute, but it's true. Look how cute this is going to be. I love the effect. It did have too much water, and I didn't know until I played. So I want you to play with yours. I can't wait to see the hats you make. I hope you make several. I think it would be cute to do like wrapping paper and with several different watercolor hats that you painted yourself. I'm going to dry my brush off a little and grab that blue. And what happens if I dig in? Although I really like that, what happens if I dig in a little bit and put some more color on here? Kind of helps define it a little bit and gives it a little bit of a interest. You can also put salt on it if you want to get a salty effect. Watercolor is so fun. There's so many different things you can do, and I do believe it's one of the hardest mediums to learn. But if you learn the basics and the rules, you will do so well, and then you get to break them. Learn the rules and then break them. Have fun. It's just paper. Okay, I'm going back to get some more pink. I'm going to come in here and play with this pink on the hat part. Yeah, I can't wait, Mary Lou, to see what you do. Emily, I know you're going to be doing this, and Laura and Judy. Anybody who does this, please let me know. Please post it in the on the comment section. I will see it. If you're interested in learning more, if you want to know some basics, you want to have some more fun with watercolor, please book a free consulting call, a free coaching call, and it will be in the comments later. I have my virtual assistant will put them in there this evening. And let me think what else there is. Any questions? I'm looking to see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions, but I see that you're here. If you watch it later, just put it in the comments. I know what I was going to tell you. If you click on comment, if you have your picture on your phone and you click on comment, you can upload the picture right there and put it right in this section so that everybody who painted with us can see your beautiful hat painting. Now, again, I like to play. I like to experiment. So we have couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and play with I have a black gel pen or a black marker. Here's another Pigma pen. This is pretty much dry. So what would happen if I just outlined it lightly with the black pen? What happens to it? Now it's kind of wet, so I can't go inside, which I might do later. But what does that do to that side versus that side? It's fine. It's beautiful this way, but this is kind of fun. It helps kind of define the hat. And it's just a fun little extra treatment you can do. Now I'd be careful. I'm just kind of scribbling, which is fine. Be careful with getting it wet, because it will dry out on you then. So you don't want to let it get wet. And that's fine. Like, this might look a little goofy. So if you make that mistake, maybe turn it into some ribbon, color around it. You could even, let's say I didn't like that pencil mark, that pen mark. I could get this side wet. And then what's going to cover that let's put a background in that's going to cover that pencil line or the pen line. Any suggestions? What do you think? What should I put? Let's try a gray. I don't know why. There's a gray here. I'm going to just put a little gray in there. Heavy, right where the pencil line is that I'm not crazy about. But then let's see what happens with the water after. When it touches the water, what happens? It lightens up as it spreads out. So it's staying dark where I need to cover up. And then it lightens. Oh, this is wet on wet and this is wet on dry. So wet on wet, it should just keep spreading. Let me tap some water there to let it help it keep spreading. Just have fun. This is playtime. You could use blue. You could use any colors back here. Don't forget to date your paper. I put this wet on dry and it's not moving. It's not budging, but I want it to move. So I'm going to take clean water and forget the ribbons. Pretend like they're not there. I'm going to tap, tap, tap right on the edge and watch how I can pull it. I can tell it where I want that gray to go. Where do I want you to drag? So I just told it. And then what I did is just give it a little background on both sides. Maybe I should carry it up here. Although that purple, let's see if we just get that purple, wet it a little bit and see what happens. If I can drag some purple in there. That's kind of pretty. Slay. This is your practice book. It is on watercolor paper. Usually in my classes, we have a mixed media practice book where we do our theory and our practice lecture. And then we do our final copy in our second book, which is our show-off book. But I do this a lot. I like to play. I like to say, well, what can I do? What will help or what won't? If I, at the end, say, oh, I don't like it, then I know what I did that I won't do again. So I encourage you to play, have fun. It's just paper. This is going to be fun to look back at later. Anything you want to know about, please write it in the comments. I'm happy to answer. I'm here for you. I'll help you along the way in your watercolor journey. And I want to thank you for joining me. Happy birthday and kiss your brain. Kiss your brain. See you next week, 2 o'clock. Thanks for being here.